Welcome into Prize Picks on 5 here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick. And at 5 Reasons Sports, we've got David Ebersol. You can follow him at David W. Ebersol. Eric Wadicki. You can follow him at Eric Wadicki. And from 3 yards per carry, we got Alf Artiaga. You can follow at Alf_Artiaga or 3 yards per carry. We've done 4 episodes already. Make sure you check those out. Those are here on the YouTube channel. We're going to tweet all of those out from the 5 Reasons Sports account before the big game on Sunday night. But we want to give you our best cards. So we're going to go through a little bit today and kind of see of what we've talked about so far, and maybe some of which we haven't talked about, what we would like to put together our best card. Now, here's the big thing. Download the PrizePicks app from the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, or PrizePicks.com. And make sure you use the code 5, F-I-V-E. Get that initial deposit matched up to $100. That's F-I-V-E. You don't need to put all the money down at once. But we recommend you do because they're only going to match it one time. So there are no rollovers. This is free money. Use the code 5, F-I-V-E. All right, our best play today, well, we just got to say it. It's the free square. So make sure before you do anything else, Patrick Mahomes, half a passing yard. Feel like that's safe. So we're going to go with that. He has gone over that in each of the last 5 and every game he's ever played in his entire life. So put that down. Use the code 5, F-I-V-E. All right, we talked about some of these before with Mahomes and others. We haven't had Alfredo get a chance to get in here. Do you have any favorite plays for either of the two quarterbacks? Is there a favorite play that you like for either of them, Mahomes or Purdy? Other than that one.
The only one that I do like for either one of the quarterbacks is the Goblin play on Brock Purdy, which is 199 yards, and I like going over on that. Other than that, I think that playing totals for the quarterbacks, even on touchdowns, could be tricky because I think that this could be a low scoring game. So I kind of avoided the quarterbacks except for the free square.
All right, so avoided the quarterbacks except for the free square. Eric, did you have a favorite quarterback play? I'm trying to recall.
I was actually kind of with Alf there. I'm avoiding the quarterbacks for the most part. When it comes to the rushing yards, I know the combined earlier this week between Mahomes and Purdy was 38.5, which is an intriguing number. But ultimately, I'm steering clear of the quarterbacks in general as well.
Okay.
I did incorporate a one rushing one with my quarterbacks, and that's Brock Purdy over 12.5 yards rushing. I think Kansas City is going to play some man underneath, and that's going to give him some opportunities. It's the Super Bowl, so he will see things a little tighter than they probably are, which could cause him to take off more than usual. And I think 12.5 yards, he can do that. He could do that in the course of the game.
So 12.5 yards over. I will say one prop that I do like is the Mahomes. We talked about this on a previous episode. Mahomes Purdy over 1.5 picks. Feel like that's a safe one. There it is right there. The INT combo. Mahomes and Purdy over. We know Mahomes sometimes throws one up, and I do think that nerves are going to get to Purdy a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
And I'm not
indeed the next ready.
Yeah, I hate to interrupt you here, but I'm not one of those that like to say, "Oh, he's due." But Patrick Mahomes is on a 5-game no interception streak,
right,
which means he's due to throw one. So
right. He is.
I kind of like, that one's interesting. If you want to play the quarterbacks, that one is kind of interesting.
But except for, of course, the season where he didn't throw an interception at all, pretty much. Ever saw anything you like on the quarterback side before we move forward?
Well, maybe that Mahomes half an INT, like you said, but I'm going to stay away from other than the Goblin play that Alfredo mentioned, and the rush play for Purdy yards is also pretty good. But I don't really like the completion or straight yards play on either one of them.
All right, so let's go over to the running backs now. I know that we did that episode together. David, where would you start there? What's your favorite play?
I mean, everybody loves Pacheco. Obviously, his numbers have been kind of creeping up throughout the week. You could take the easy way with the Goblin here at over a half, but I actually like him over 3.5 receiving targets is an interesting play. And I also like the combo here with McCaffrey at 159.5 because I feel like McCaffrey could take up a majority of that total on his own. And even if Pacheco ends up around 70 yards, I think they could probably surpass this number.
So 159.5, McCaffrey and Pacheco.
But I like the targets. I feel like he's going to have to check down a little bit in this game. And I like Pacheco's targets. You don't have to worry about yards or completions. I think he's going to get the ball thrown his way a few times.
All right, Eric, what do you like on the running back side?
Yeah, and I know we're gonna get repetitive here with the Pacheco stuff, but the fantasy score for Pacheco, it's the only thing that seems like it's staying stagnant at about 15, and it's just one of those things. It's a catch-all. You get the receiving yards, you get the receptions, you get the scoring, you get the rush yards, and so it feels like that's kind of the safest. If you're going to go with a Pacheco prop to go over, I would definitely hit the fantasy score.
All right, I think we've lost Alf here for a second. Flip over to the McCaffrey props for me for a second, David, if you can. Because I know I had one here that I liked, and I just can't remember exactly what it was. I looked at the 34.5 receiving yards and the five receptions. Looked at both of those. I feel again like Purdy's going to be looking for security blankets as much as possible. Again, could come out and just blow the doors off, but I'm not anticipating it. So I would probably play the receiving props here. The 6 targets feels like at worst it's probably a push in that sense. But the other one I like a lot is that receiving yards in the first 2 receptions, 15.5.
My
Feel
favorite
like
category.
he goes over that. A couple of swing passes. I feel like he goes over that one. So that might be the one that I actually I play here is the 15.5 receiving yards in the first 2 receptions. Okay,
This is interesting here, right here. The CMC and Kelsey rush and receiving yard combo. So you get all of McCaffrey's production plus Kelsey at 198.5.
Okay. Seems like a fair one. Do we lose Al for good here? I'm stalling.
I don't know. I'm waiting to bring him back in, but
okay, let him know. We lost you. There we go. There's Danny. So we'll stall here just a little bit. All right, let's go over to the He's coming back. All right, good. I want to give him a chance. We lost you there for a second. What do you like on the running back side?
Well, I saw this very, very early on in the week, and then I played it on 3 cards. Isaiah Pacheco over 16 rushing attempts. I just absolutely love it. I don't think they have many options behind him. I understand that Clyde Edwards-Helaire has gotten a few carries, but it's an important game. As you can see, in important games, Pacheco tends to get the ball more. They're going to have to run the ball, and San Francisco is vulnerable to running it. Andy Reid is one to stick with the run. In this case, I think Pacheco over 16. He's on almost – I got 4 cards. I got him on 3 cards over 16 rush attempts.
All right, so over 16 rush attempts. All right, so let's let you start here on the receiver plays here. Receivers and tight ends. We'll throw them together. I'm afraid I haven't heard your thoughts on these. What's your favorite play on either side?
On the receivers, I like under on Rashee Rice across the board. I think the 49ers are really good over the middle. They tend to clog the hitch and the post, especially on slot receivers. So I think Rashee Rice is going to get special attention in this game. And I believe his number is at 60. I didn't see it, but I think it's at 60.
68.5.
Yeah, I like under on the receiving yards on Rashee Rice. I don't really like anything else, though, by the way.
Okay. Eric, what do you like?
So as far as the receivers go, I am all about the Marquez Valdez-Scantling 19.5 receiving yards. It just feels like one of those games Mahomes is going to get one long completion to MVS in this one. He's hit on him in each of the last 2 games. I think he's going to get at least one pretty long reception in this one.
Okay. All right, David, what do you like?
Well, obviously you have to look at Kelsey. In the receiving game, there's pretty much nothing else in terms of, somebody you just can pencil in for a certain amount of productivity. You got to love the half a rush and receiving touchdown.
Yeah, I'm
mark
going
on him. I'm gonna go for that. Yeah. You could get frisky and play the 1.5. I think that's a little bit ambitious, but I like this half a touchdown, obviously, for Kelsey. And the tight end combo with Kittle is pretty interesting at just 122.5, but the number on Kittle is pretty low in terms of his expectations on that. I think he's only in the 40s. So that's an interesting one because I feel like this could be a pretty big game for Kittle.
I also have as my
Uh,
best goblin play Travis Kelce over 49.5 receiving yards. Like
Yeah.
I think that's almost a free square. He's going to get the ball enough. He could conceivably catch 8 passes and get 51 yards in this game. Like that's entirely possible. So I like the over 49.5 goblin play on Travis Kelce.
Well, I like the combo play with Kittle and Kelsey. I'm going to play Kittle actually in this game. Pivot. I was debating between Kittle, Samuel, and Ayuk, but I just 50.5 receiving yards again. To me, the combo play looks pretty good overall for them. 4 receptions. I think that's a push at worst, probably for Kittle. So I'm gonna play Kittle over the 50.5, but I might actually play that combo play just to give myself a little bit more breathing room because I do think Kelsey probably goes over as well. Any thoughts on Debo or Ayuk for either of you guys? Any of you guys?
No, not I'm not a big fan of Debo or Ayuk in this game. Kansas City tends to erase wide receivers out wide, so Ayuk I think is the toughest play out of every single skill player in this game.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go over to the defense and the kickers. I know we had some debate about which kicker we liked more, but I think we liked both of them. I guess over the 1.5. Eric, I believe you liked Butker for sure. I kind of liked Moody, more circumstantial than anything else. But you can see there, Moody, you actually get they added that. That was not
Yeah.
there before.
That's good
Um,
value on him with the demon now. That makes that play
Yeah.
a lot more interesting because both teams aren't going to want to leave points on the board.
Right. I think I'd play the demon. I know Butker's not going to miss the ones he takes. I would expect both teams to have a couple of field goals in this game. But yeah, the demon play is interesting. I mean, you need to play 2.5 on Butker to get the demon. So um, yeah, I'm going to play Moody. I mean, I guess you still go with Butker, Eric.
Oh no. I had the combination over half a field goal, 48 plus.
Oh,
On
that's
the kick.
right. Right.
Playing in a dome in Vegas, I both of these guys have the leg for that and then some. I think you're going to see at least one long field goal.
That seems interesting. Al,
Yeah.
you like anything on the kicker side before we go to defenses?
Yeah, I played Buckner over 2.5 on the demon, and I put it in an all demon play. That's it's 3 legs, and you get 40 times your investment. I like Buckner because we're just a few weeks ago where Kansas City just could not score in the red zone, and they were just lining up and kicking field goals. In fact, they kicked 4 field goals against Miami in the wild card round. That could easily happen against a pretty good defense that the 49ers have. So I like a 2.5 Butker. He's on one of my cards, absolutely, as a demon.
All right. On the defense side, David, switch over because I know Eric and the Chris Jones pick. I mean, the quarter of a sack, right? That's on my cards. Yeah, Chris
He's on my
Jones
demon play as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, he's half a sack. I mean, come on. Let's. But I know that some of you guys liked others. Who was it that liked Armstead? I'm sorry.
Me.
Was it? It was you. Okay. What did you like Armstead on?
Over 2.5 tackles and assists.
Okay. All right. So Armstead over 2.5 tackles and assists. Alfredo, anything else you like on the defense side?
I love the Chris Jones play, and I like it for several reasons. And this is the reason I like it the most. He has it in his contract, and you saw it at the end of the season when he was running around like he had just won 8 Super Bowls in a row because he hit that bonus on his 10 sacks. He has it in his contract. He gets a per sack bonus in the postseason. So if there's going to be anybody that's going to hunt a sack and maybe fall on somebody to get a half a sack, it's Chris Jones. Remember, he likes his money. He's a free agent, and he's going to be asking for around $30 million a year in the offseason. So he's going to go get his money in this game.
All right. Is anybody playing Bosa?
There's too many other better
Look, we
plays
should.
on there.
Look, I don't have them on my cards, but we kind of should. Those are 2 bad tackles for Kansas City. Okay?
Yep.
So Jawan Taylor, Donovan Smith, they're not very good. It's simply put, they're just not very good. Nick Bosa's the best pass rusher in football. So if you want to complete cards with him, I would do it. Absolutely.
It feels kind of light. All right, what did we miss here other than me mentioning again to use the code 5 FIVE? What did we miss here today? Is something else that was on one of the cards that I didn't mention?
Yeah, look, if you're convinced with Brock Purdy on the 12.5 and you're gonna put together a demon card like I did, might as well just take the 24.5, because if he's over 12.5, that means it's opening up for him because Kansas City's playing a lot of man-to-man coverage, right? So just take the 24.5 on the demon play, and you could 40x a three-way parlay. So
Wow.
yeah, I like the 24.5 as far as a demon play for Brock Purdy. And I put one out on 3 yards per carry. You could check it out. My all demon parlay. It pays over 40 times your investment.
Wow. All right. So we'll check that out. Also, make sure if you guys are on Off the Floor, which is our Discord, we are going to be giving away $50 in PrizePicks promo funds. In fact, Alf, maybe you want to give away a 2 on OnlyFans. I'll catch up with you later today. We'll do a contest tomorrow. But the key is you got to be subscribed with the code 5 FIVE. That otherwise you can't get it. So make sure you subscribe with the code 5. Get on there, put in your money, and then we're going to give you a chance to win some promo funds as well. All right, we'll put the cards on Twitter as well. We'll just sort of post some of our favorite plays as we go forward leading up into Sunday. Also, don't forget we got Heat Celtics on Sunday too. So look for the picks from Brady, Alex, Greg, myself, and everybody else prior to that big game on Sunday at 2:00 here in Miami. Have a good one, everybody.